Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages and genders, welcome back to my very first podcast. Jon Marshall, Brandon Rowe, and Craig Johnson from What Drives the Weak. My name is Jeremy Kaiser, and we are Unbiased.
So Jeremy, do you got a copy of Lightbringer?
I downloaded that one on YouTube Music. I'm subscribed to YouTube Red, and YouTube Music is a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting thing though, when I downloaded that album and liked 5 or 6 songs on it, opened up this whole other genre of music I didn't even know existed. Which, man, what do you guys classify it as?
I mean,
Lightbringer? I can't really.
No, the music genre. What gender do you identify in
I guess
musically?
technically we're just deathcore.
Just deathcore?
Just deathcore.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say Iniquities was melodic deathcore.
No, Iniquities is metalcore.
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of saw it more as a metalcore album.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say What Drives the Weak now is definitely just straight deathcore. Like, because there's influence from a lot of different things, death metal, slam, stuff like Body Snatcher, and a lot of things like that kind of play into what we're doing now. So I would definitely say deathcore.
Yeah,
You guys are right up there with Slaughter to Prevail is one of the latest bands that I've checked out, and you guys are about just as heavy as each other, except they went to #1 on the metal chart. But
Yeah, they've got a super famous singer because he's incredible. And yeah.
What band is he from? Because they didn't start out like that.
He's a YouTube, Alex Terrible on YouTube.
Oh yeah, the Russian Hate Project, I think.
Yeah, Russian Hate Project.
Yep.
I actually, before I started playing music with these guys, I was following him on YouTube, and that's how I found him.
Right. Well, I know he did covers with that mask on. He did a lot of really famous covers with that mask on, but he don't use the mask to hide his face. Well, another idea I had is if you guys want, I was going to play the video on the big screen, turn the screen around so you can all see it, and let you guys add commentary to the video.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you guys got some fond memories.
Craig and his drum set being moved around.
My God,
that's
that
one.
was the worst part of the whole ordeal. Fallsburg's setup is great, man, but the way that everything's designed, like, it's intentionally narrow and has hot corners, and
Yeah.
moving a drum kit through that thing was like
How
many times you have to move it?
I set it up in 3 different locations in there, so I pretty much had to go through the whole thing to get to those 3 locations.
Craig's kid's not a small kid.
Yeah, I'm just glad that was all on a rack. I can imagine
the drum rack makes it even possible because, like, I know that I can fit all of my stuff in a certain amount of room.
Right.
Imagine trying to grab tape stand by stand, packing it to every damn room, sand it up, take it back down. I was like,
Yeah, it looked like you guys did a lot of hard work. There's a lot of things I've seen in that video that a normal fan would see, and they'd be like, "Oh, I appreciate that," but I don't realize how much blood, sweat, and agony went into it. And
Mostly sweat.
It was mostly sweat.
Mostly
dude.
sweat.
it
I
was
bet the
hot.
swamp ass was real.
Oh,
There
definitely.
wasn't even bathrooms there.
Really?
There weren't bathrooms.
It-
Yeah, I mean, like, when you go when it's open, they have porta potties everywhere.
Right.
It was so bad that Andrea Felty, she was there. She was one of the people in the video. I literally had Andrea take me somewhere so I could use the bathroom. I was like, hey, luckily there's a gas station down the road.
Yeah, there was.
And then I had Danielle take me.
But I don't know, man, it's super hot in there in July too. It's like, the air inside of the thing doesn't move. It's just stale, and
It looked.
it's hot.
Yeah, it looked
So
like
hot.
there wasn't much going on in there. There's that fan you guys were standing in front of. The light went through, but it wasn't moving fast enough to blow anything.
According to my Fitbit, I was burning like 10,000 calories a day in there.
How hot was it in there? Did you guys measure?
It was like 98 degrees outside, so it had to be 110 inside.
100%.
It was so hot in there.
Me and Jerrod sit there in that control room watching you guys.
Yeah, we were gonna do some
it's
cool
just
stuff
like-
with the control room that actually didn't happen.
You figured that there would have been actually a fan in there out of all things. Hell no fan.
Nope.
There's that back door that we had to prop open with a block of wood.
Go, shout out Slam We're Wide.
I can't help it, man. I love the way that looks. You just lean into it, you roll your arm, you're like ready for it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes throughout the movie.
John, did you have the same discomfort making this video as you did Trick by an Angel?
I don't even remember that.
You don't?
I think we were outside.
Yeah, we were outside up behind my mom's house, and it was during the fall. And buddy, we were trying to lip sync, and it was the first time any of us did that, and we were all just like, we thought this would be rad, but there's 15 people staring at us, and some of us were soloing off, and John's drum set wasn't designed to be set up in a ditch. And
most drum kits are.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
yeah,
I remember not being too happy about it.
there ain't no way to gather that footage, is there?
So Jeremy
I
did
don't
it.
think so.
Even if you could, you wouldn't.
Probably not.
Okay, all right.
A lot of Easter eggs in here that weren't meant to be.
By all means,
At the very beginning of the song, when you first see Jerrod, if you can catch it close enough, there's a water bottle that's sitting like right over here,
yeah.
and it's hard to catch because the light's shining through it. But if you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, if you're
I
looking
see it
for
every
it, you'll
time
see it
now.
every time.
Yep.
I also like all the exit signs in the video.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye out for those because they pop up occasionally.
How hard was it to see in there?
It was insane. It was super dark.
Yeah,
There's
it was-
not a
yeah.
lot in there. I mean, the lights that we had were the
Cell phones.
gimmick lights. You know, the stuff that they use in there.
Yeah, we had to use the phone lights and everything else.
Yeah.
Any injuries on the job site?
No, nothing that anybody reported anyway.
Right.
I'm
Other
surprised
than
some of the
Jerrod.
people that were like
Other than
doing the
Jordan.
stunts didn't get hurt.
And Jordan sliced his finger, I think. That's about
That
it.
don't count.
Yeah.
He was playing guitar when it happened.
Ladies, I'm really glad you guys didn't call me to be an extra in this. After I seen it, I'm like, I don't think I would fit with those ladies at all.
Well, we're going to be doing another video, so
Yeah.
we'll need extras for us.
I'll raise my hand
Hey,
again.
Jeremy, if there's a will, there's a way now.
No, shit. No.
We can put you on dress and cover you in blood. Come on.
I can't believe no one's bringing up the part where when I reviewed your all's video, I beeped out. Nobody's asking what that was, I guess, because
My wife asked me.
Yeah, did she?
Yeah, she asked me. She was like, "What did he say?" I was like, "I have no idea. I can't remember."
I'll probably beep it out again, but I said to these girls, it's just another week of the month. I was trying to have a very serious tone reviewing the video because you guys are dead fucking serious about everything, and so I was like, I want to keep that in there just for the suspicion, but that's what I said.
Yeah, she was like, "Was it something bad?" And I said, "Yeah, probably."
Yeah.
Probably something bad.
Yeah. I couldn't.
Man, Jerrod went fucking crazy in there.
Yeah, he did.
Like
great.
a mock took LSD and started playing guitar.
I didn't know he had it in him, man.
Yeah.
And like his takes, he would do several takes,
Yeah.
and he was 100% the same intensity the whole time. I don't know how.
Now we're talking about the one with the long hair.
Yeah, Jared's the long hair.
Yeah.
Jordan's the short hair.
Yeah, he put off the show. He really did. So what's the narrative going on here, guys? This is where the narrative kind of starts.
Well, you explain, John.
So the point of it was to have like a so you saw the ladies kind of doing the thing with their hands,
Yeah.
and they were supposed to represent a cult, and throughout the video, well, we didn't get to use as many scenes as we wanted to, but they were supposed to be stationed throughout the video in just about every scene that wasn't a part of the band. One or two of them were supposed to be in the background. Jesse isn't one of them, but it was supposed to be a cult controlling, like mind controlling our killer, which was CODY from Revision Revised, and he would go through and he was killing all the extras, and that was the basis of it. And then
Right.
at the end of the video, it shows all of the band standing just in a line, and then it shows me dropping CODY. It was like a signifying that we killed the killer.
Right.
But behind us was the cult, signifying that we were the new.
Yeah, we're being
Killers.
controlled too. And
So
in that shot that he's talking about, like the girls are behind us, like
Right.
with their arms, they
Yeah.
got a circle around us. So that was kind of the idea, is that, like he said, Cody is being controlled to do some pretty heinous stuff, and turns out he's not the only one. So we plan to continue the narrative. Like it's the videos we do for this album, they're all going to tie together in one way or another. I was talking to the director the other day about the idea of maybe doing like a mini movie, like
Yeah.
connecting the 3 or 4 songs.
Avatar's
we're
done
doing.
that quite a bit. It
Yeah.
works.
yeah, the end of
Avatar's
AEON'S Wake, it kind of leaves it open because it does signify that we are also being mind controlled, and
Right.
so in the next video it leaves it open perfectly for a continuation.
And we're trying to like pay homage too to our area and things that are notably big and creepy in our area. Like for this one, we were at Fallsburg Fearplex, which if you're from this area, Fallsburg is huge.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about Fallsburg. The Order of Exile video that we're planning to do is going to be at another notorious Carter County creep zone, mushroom mines. We're going to do some stuff up
Did
there.
you actually get permission to go into measurements?
We're working on it. We
I bet
haven't
that's
got it yet.
difficult.
I'm sure it is, but we've got generators, we've got all the stuff we need
Yeah.
to do to.
Well with the words too.
Yeah, that I was actually searching for the lyrics and couldn't find them, but I didn't, look more than 5 to 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure they're out there, but I knew that it more than likely lined up with the lyrics.
They should be available on like Apple Music and stuff, because when you go through DistroKid, you have that option to include lyrics, and I know that I filled out the form for the lyrics.
Yeah,
so
Right.
they were there. I saw 'em.
it's probably out there.
Yeah. Love that part.
See, that's something I don't think a lot of people pick up on. If you back up to that scene where all the girls are in the circle, see, all of those are sigils. John can tell you more about that stuff.
Yeah, those are all sigils, Gorification demons and whatnot.
Okay. So what's these? Is this what part exactly are you talking about? They're the people or
these,
the okay.
That,
Yeah, the
that.
plates.
Yeah, all the plates.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was kind of lost on a lot of people, because
Yeah.
that was something that we had really planned to include in the scenes, and we actually did. They are included in certain places in the video, but that was kind of like an underlying narrative that we had in mind for that too. Is this?
If you go back a little bit,
Yeah.
where Cody was just beat the guy.
Okay.
So there's Jesse right here.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Like they're supposed to be back in the corner. You can't see them, and you can see her when you're looking for her. But if you're not looking for her, then you won't see her.
I don't think I even noticed that.
Yeah. Well,
Well, this is a very breakneck paced
Oh yeah, it was
video.
just-
So
we wanted this video to be claustrophobic and
Right.
kind of make you feel uncomfortable.
So do you have an 808 set up on your drum set?
No, not currently. I run triggers for my kick drum.
Right.
But no, we actually track all that stuff when we play live.
Okay.
I play to a click track, and it's all programmed to come through when we play.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all the sound effects they just happen.
Right. Now, how many props that were already there in that haunted house did you guys wind up using?
All
All of them?
Everything, man.
Yeah.
That place is great
Like-
for doing a video.
like this room that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
That's a hand, I guess, an arm.
Right.
Like this room, I wanted to use it because it's just body parts.
Right.
Like just hanging down there. There was like a leg that kept hitting Matt inside the face where he was filming, and
And man, they felt so gross in the summertime. Those latex, sticky blood.
they were
Yeah.
gross.
They smelled so bad.
So you wanted to address why you guys didn't wear makeup. I mentioned that in the review.
Yeah, we actually weren't planning on doing makeup like at all.
Right.
And then one of my friends showed up, who is a really good makeup artist. She just showed up, and she brought her kit with her and offered to do makeup for us. And she said, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I don't know. Do whatever you think is best or whatever."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, let's just put the actors in makeup and then leave the rest of us,
Yeah.
to separate the two." And I don't know.
So CODY wound up wearing makeup. Why was that his choice? Did he apply it himself?
Yeah.
No,
that
she
It did separate him from you all.
She applied the same makeup to CODY and all the other actors to make it look like they've, been beat down, drug out, like just dirty look. That's
Right.
all it was meant to be. The
It-
original idea was to put blood all over everybody,
Right.
and but we ended up not having a lot of blood because of somebody, our good friend Brandon. So
He made us
I'm not
5
even
gallons.
saying shit on that, alright? All I'm gonna say is, fuck making blood.
We were gracious, or lucky enough that the venue donated some of their
Yeah.
fake blood.
I will
and
say
we
what-
had someone one of the people who were playing, one of the cult members. She made us a couple of gallons of chocolate milk blood,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
Jordan bought.
Jordan went ahead
Jordan
and
went ahead and bought $100 of blood, and then,
Like,
then one of my work buddies
Rush
gave me
delivered
blood.
it to his house because
So-
Brandon screwed up on
we
it.
ended up having
Oh,
a bunch of blood that we did not need.
Man, CODY really goes for it, don't he?
Dude, he looks like a psychopath.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely goes for it. He's like, I'm here to put on a show and get some attention. And
Yeah,
motherfucker,
CODY was
I'm-
really excited about doing that.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
super
I
stoked.
will say, Jeremy, you did make me laugh in the reaction video.
Yeah.
Whenever you was talking about CODY and you was talking about the makeup,
Yeah.
and it said, it looks like cigarette ashes across his face.
Yeah,
and I
someone
was
put a
just like-
cigar out on the top of his head. This is the first thing that hit my brain. I was like,
like-
I'm probably going to offend him.
I was like, I gotta give CODY
I
a hard
laughed at it. I
time.
thought it was funny.
CODY's a cool guy.
We give
Yeah.
CODY a lot of shit too, so.
Yeah.
Well, you got to, man.
Yeah.
You actually wore a Westboro Baptist shirt, didn't you?
It says
Yeah.
fuck the Westboro Baptist
Oh,
Church.
okay.
Yeah.
Brandon had put on his sleeveless shirt because
Yeah.
we had all been outside for 2 days and it was hot.
Yeah. I was like, get rid of that damn shirt. It's too hot.
That was one of the things too, where it shows me, but then the camera pans over and
Yeah.
it goes right into CODY, even though that's 2 separate shots in the exact same room.
Right.
It looked like it was a really smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can nail that sometimes. So I've tried to do that. I've tried to pan, like when I do
Oh
gambling
my
addiction
God.
videos. I try to make it look like I walked to the house, and it don't work.
That's
always.
great.
I want to screenshot that picture right there
I
so
too.
bad.
Well,
Hold on a second. Where's that there? Where's my phone at?
I have no
Yes.
idea.
I'm gonna take a picture of this real quick. I'm
Okay.
gonna send it to him.
it's like that
That's
constipated look.
Oh shit, that's great. I'm texting him right now.
Ah!
John, did you feel like you had competitions then beside him? Did you feel like you were competing to get more attention than him, or was it just this is a job to you?
No, this is just normal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's not a competition. I don't see it like that. Like,
Well, I mean, a
Like-
friendly, healthy competition, like
no, like the way it's always been for me is we're the only deathcore band in the area,
yeah,
so we don't really have competition because we're the
Right.
only one.
I think too many people anymore get this whole ego thing in music, and it's just, I mean, I just try to be supportive of everyone, you know? I mean, to me, music's not about competition.
Dude,
We're we're all doing the same thing, you know.
I encourage my friends that are trying to play with Metallica as much as I encourage my friends that are trying to get their first show. You know?
Right.
For real.
Yep.
Absolutely. I love that scene. What are they playing with? Did you guys just
Yeah, we just poured a
bucket?
bunch of blood in a bucket and told them to rub it all over.
Yeah, they're doing a blood ritual.
Yeah, it's a real knife too, which is kind of funny. It kind of plays into a part at the end of the.
Now, who are these girls? I give them a shout out.
This is let's see. This is Katie. This is Cody's wife. This is Hope, Angie, Sam. I can't see.
That's Michelle.
No, that's Melissa.
Melissa, sorry.
And that's Jessie. That's my wife.
What's going on? This part just seems random to me.
It's like comic relief.
Yeah.
You know what? I wasn't in there when they filmed that scene. I maybe would have discouraged it,
Right.
but in retrospect, I actually kind of liked it.
It just, when it flashed to that screen, I'm just like, these guys are always dead serious, especially when it comes to their music. But this made me chuckle, and I didn't know, like, whether to say that out loud, and maybe it'd been offensive to you guys, because if this
No,
was...
man.
Oh, not at all.
Right.
I don't get it.
Not around.
So there was no more room for my drum kit in that one spot right there. Like,
Yeah.
I basically there's this long hallway with this couple smoke machines in the hallway and this laser that, like, when you're walking through the trail, it blasts right in your face. It looks like you're walking down into this vortex. So we were like, this would be a cool room to do that in.
Right.
And then putting my drums in there, like, if that hallway had been any more narrow, there's no way we could have done those shots, because I had to put my back, like, to the trap doors for the employees and open the doors. We put like a light behind it to kind of give it a contrast, but I pretty much wasn't able to fit my body in the hallway. I had to just set my drums in there and set close enough that it looked like I was close enough to play them.
Whenever I was telling you about the interesting scene,
Yeah.
so if you go back a little bit, you'll see where they're kind of running outside, and it's like this, right through there. So there's a part coming up, and which you'll see a little bit later in the video, where he's actually wrestling a guy outside.
Yeah.
And he stabbed him down on the ground. Well, I was following the cameraman whenever they did that scene, and what was interesting, there's a road that's like literally right up a hill on the other side. These people was walking by, and the only thing that they see is Cody just stabbing this guy. And this girl let out like this blood-curdling scream, and I looked at Matt and I looked at Cody. I said, hey, I said, you gotta get off this guy. I was like, stand up. I was like, if not, I said, they're gonna call the cops because they're gonna think this is real. So the boy gets up, and then we look over there at the people, and luckily this guy that was with that girl, he kind of laughed a little bit. I said, we're just shooting a video over here, you know, I mean, he don't know what kind of video. I mean, for all he knows, it'd probably be some kind of a snuff film or something, you know.
Come on, Brandon.
Jeez.
Did the law ever wind up coming?
Oh, no.
That's
It
good.
was all cool about it.
Go. Just knowing the context behind what's going on.
So right there, where my leg came up,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the process of falling, So when then the fact that we used that clip, he was like, "Oh, I kind of like it because it looks like you're actually putting some force down by lifting your leg up." I was like, "Dude, I'm literally falling," because I couldn't drop him I didn't want to drop him very hard because it hurt. So I was trying to lay him down gently and just let him fall a little bit.
Yeah.
In the process, I lost my balance and almost went down on him. And
but that made it look more real.
And I just
it did. That's right.
I tried to save it just by like looking up at the camera, all pissed off.
Right.
So I was sitting there thinking in my head like,
You got
we
directly
do
in
this
front of me.
again.
You don't see me at all right here.
Dude, I'm falling.
I see that now.
I took that step. I was like, oh, that's a good.
I'm wearing the same hat. I just see my hat.
Hey, at least we know now. In correlation, that is you.
Yeah. I'm directly behind you. Shout out Matt Napier, film and photo. Add him up on Facebook. He's a fucking great guy.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning, you guys were what I understood to be a Christian band. Are you still a Christian band? And if not, what changed?
No, we're not. Well, it goes back to an incident that happened to us like a long time ago. It was before we broke up, actually. We were trying to get shows in Huntington, and there was a promoter there that absolutely would not book Christian bands whatsoever. And so we kind of sat down and discussed it and came to the conclusion that if we were going to really do what we wanted to do and get out and do what we wanted to do, we had to put certain labels aside so we could do more.
Yeah.
But then when we broke up and we all got back together, what was it, like 4 years later?
Yeah, it was roughly 4 years.
Everybody, their aspect on life and the way they believed, everyone was different. Nobody believed the same way anymore. So it wouldn't have been fair to call us a Christian band if hardly anybody in the band is a Christian. So like that, I don't know, that would be dishonest.
Yeah, at the point that it's like your music's not about trying to promote that message, then it's unfair to try to promote to those people. It's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel almost. To just, you're specifically going to get people looking for that sort of stuff if you say that's what you are, and it's dishonest, man.
The vision that you had for What Drives the Weak at the very beginning, has that vision come to pass, or are you still working on it?
Still working on it. Trying to.
How close are you to it?
I mean, I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer
because I'm talking so far back that you hadn't even come up with the name What Drives the Weak yet. You called me to come over to that church you used to live beside. You might still live there, I don't know. And me and you sang together, and obviously I didn't fit the bill. I never got called back. And then I came and run sound for you guys in the basement of Bagby, and that was when Fred was playing guitar for you.
Yep.
And I know you had a vision then.
Yeah, it's the same vision. It's still the same, but like, if back then, if I were to think that we would have been able to do all the things that we've done to this date, I never would have thought we made it this far. Because I mean, we made it pretty far.
Yeah.
But we can go farther.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go.
You know,
Well, the rock star things kind of went away. I haven't seen a band try to be a rock star in a long time.
Dude, that's what I was going to say a second ago. It's like, we don't want to be rock stars. We don't want to, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're going to offer me $1 million, I'd be happy to take $1 million.
Right.
But I don't expect $1 million from what we do.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, the end game for What Drives the Weak would be to tour and sustain all of our daily lives by just doing what we do in a band.
Essentially, what is your music about, and what genre do you consider yourself?
Well, you and I talked outside of the what was that fish place we went to in Florida?
Fish place.
The last place we left.
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, well, we were outside of that restaurant. We were sitting on that curb talking about the direction of the band. And the genre, or I guess whatever the theme of it, you call it, whatever. And honestly, Lightbringer and Order of Exile are both heavily about occult stuff.
Yeah.
And so
AEON'S Wake is the first single from
Okay.
the Order of Exile EP.
yeah, we're releasing song by song instead of full album.
Okay. Now is this going to be like a 3-song EP? And not
It's a
rather
6 song. We've
Six
got
songs.
6 songs.
Good deal.
I mean, we've got some pretty cool shit lined up on this album. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
And I'm
just-
stoked for it, man. You guys started it. You guys.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered doing a concept album? What would it be about? And yeah.
So like, it's funny. That's a funny question because literally last night we were having an interesting discussion in band chat about doing an album with lyrics that are devoted to basically points of view of suffering rare, strange diseases, because there's some really brutal stuff out there, and also massacres, incidents that happen, things that are like the one we were talking about last night.
But
was
weird
like,
ones, not
it's-
like
yeah, weird ones. Not. I don't want like to talk about somebody going and just killing a bunch of people. That's stupid. But like to say. Like we were talking about the Boston Molassacre last night, which is like this molasses factory. There was some sort of leak and explosion, and the streets of Boston were just covered in boiling hot molasses. And it killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It did a lot of crazy stuff, but just kind of doing a concept album, writing about things like that, you know?
Yeah.
just fucked up shit just for the sake of doing it.
So far, man, this has been pretty fun, but
Oh yeah. I try to make it. When I interview bands, I want to ask questions that you don't normally hear in other interviews. Even though I know you guys and I followed you guys since the beginning, I actually went back since I brought it up to Jon and did a shitload of research just to have something decent to ask. So this is kind of it's 2 separate questions, but I want to combine it into one. Where did the name come from? What was the concept behind the logo? Have you received any blowback from Shadows Fall or any of their fans for the name? Because when I type in,
I love this question.
Yeah,
I know you
come
can't
on,
see
Jon.
because I'm wearing the mask, but this is something I've gave Jon shit about forever. I've for those that don't know, I wasn't actually a member of the band when the band was formed and named and all of that stuff. So I used to give Jon shit all the time about the Shadows Fall song.
right?
I mean, we've never heard from Shadows Fall.
Right.
They've never contacted us and said, "Hey, you can't do that."
Right.
I personally like Shadows.
I do too. I don't have an issue with them.
I hate Shadows Fall.
I even like the fucking song.
I don't.
It is what drives the weak.
Garbage song. Alright, so I had a whole bunch of names and I didn't know what to do, so I said, fuck it, I'm just going to write a whole bunch of names down that I like. I'm going to stick them in a hat and I'm going to give it to a buddy of mine and he's going to draw it, and whatever he draws is the name of the band. The name was What Drives the Weak. And we get like 3 months into to fucking everything. We played that first show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I checked on our MySpace, and a singer of a band that they used to be in comments, and it was like with like the lyrics of What Drives the Weak, like the Shadows Fall song, and I had no fucking idea what it was. I was like, "Oh, what are these?" And he was like, "Oh, that's the song What Drives the Weak by Shadows Fall," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went and looked up the song, got maybe like 30 seconds into it, and said, "The song sucks. I hate this. Crap, now everyone's gonna think it's us." And now every time, so what I did was I took the name, I took out the spaces in the name and just crushed it all into one word. So if you Google What Drives the Weak, all one word, you get us.
Right.
But if you put spaces in it, you get Shadows Fall. And it didn't occur to me that people naturally, when they type, they put spaces in things. So
It was so hard to type out your all's name without putting spaces in it. It really was.
So now we have to go through this thing where when we tell people, hey, check out What Drives the Weak on, if you Google What Drives the Weak, make sure you type it out as one full word, otherwise you won't get us, or someone will Google us while I'm standing there and be like, oh yeah, so this is your Shadows Fall song, and I'm like, no, it's not even us, it's a totally different band.
But you gotta admit
No,
that's probably helped you a little bit.
No,
Even though it causes
no, I don't
confusion.
think so. I don't
You
think
don't
it's
think
helped at
so?
all. If anything, I get people we got a comment a couple weeks ago on something on a different page saying I didn't even give that band the time of day because they fucking named their band after Shadows Fall song. I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm reading it, and I'm like, you motherfucker! I did not name it after that Shadows Fall. I didn't even know who Shadows Fall was whenever I named the band. Like, come on.
Right.
Now, I did know who Shadows Fall
Well, I
was.
fucking didn't.
Well, at that time,
So-
they were exploding. Like, literally exploding.
and that's not the type of music I listened to at the
Right.
time, so I didn't fucking have a clue who they were.
I'm glad I asked that question. You had a chance to clarify.
I've been clarifying that since 2008.
Yeah,
I think
but
Don
now
feels
now
the
you're
same
now
way
you're
about
getting
that.
big.
All the
Now
time
you're
I
getting
feel about
out
getting
there.
back and fight for
Hell, it was at Fallsburg. We set up at Fallsburg to sell our merch, and I looked at Craig and Brandon. I was like, the title of our new EP, that would be a pretty cool band name.
Would be.
We'd probably change the name, right? Craig's like, no, it's way too late for that.
Way
I'm like,
past that.
For real.
and I'm like,
As much
I
as we
mean,
put into
technically
it.
not though, because we're not actually a really big band, so we could probably get away with it. And he was like, no.
Now each one of you are going to have a different answer for this one because we were all in different bands. But how has the music scene - business changed since we were in a band together? Well, me and John were in a band together back then, but then you were playing with the other band. Brandon, you were in and out of my band about 3 times, I think.
He was also in and
Two
out
or
of
three
Shadows.
So that's how I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in both bands.
Band
So
Brandon's
I'm
a
talking
band
that far back, like back when me and him were playing music together. How's scene changed since then?
Who wants to go first?
I feel like there's a shortage of venues in our area
Yeah.
compared to back then. Our scene was better because it was able to thrive. There's more places to go. You could catch 3 or 4 bands on one night, and I mean, Huntington used to be the hot spot.
Yeah.
It's pretty much down to where there's one venue now, right? Like, that's
The
really
B Club's gone. It's the Loud now.
Yeah, the
Same-
Loud.
same
Yeah.
place.
It's the same
Same
owners
place,
and
totally
everything.
different owner.
No, same owner.
Same owner?
Same owner.
Why'd he change the name?
It's a rebranding.
He
I think.
he owns a brewery,
Oh.
and he's
yeah.
basically co-branding his brewery with the music venue. That has changed a lot in our area. So shows are fewer and farther between because of that. Usually shows draw pretty decent around here.
Yeah.
That's a plus. I feel like the way that people listen to music has changed so much that
Yes.
back in the day you would get that CD and you would put it in your car and listen to it every day, and you would know all the words to every song when you'd see
Yeah.
the band live, even if it's a local band.
Right.
And now, Spotify and things like that, you can listen to all the music that's ever existed in the history of mankind at the push of a fingertip, and stuff like that has changed the way crowds interact at shows.
All right, Brandon.
Okay, so for me, I mean, what's really changed is that, before, like back in the early 2000s, it just seems like there was a lot more people that would actually come to shows
Yeah.
versus that come to shows now, and I mean, times has really changed. I mean, just music in general, I mean, there's a big difference. I always joke around with people. I was like, sometimes I just wonder if I'm getting too old to be doing this, but I'm gonna be doing this until, I'm in a box at
I
least.
feel that age thing. I'm almost 40. And it's like I can't do anything that I used to be able to do, like as far as performing live, and that makes me not want to get on the stage. I definitely feel the age thing.
There's sometimes, when you play a show and there's not a lot of people that come out. I mean, it is discouraging, but then you got to remember why you done this for in the first place.
We're rebuilding a scene too. Like I said, COVID killed everything.
Right.
So it's going to be slow at the beginning. We're
Right.
trying to get people to be comfortable to even come back.
So like, I guess for me, I didn't come into the scene until like 2006, and that was whenever I joined DOA, and so I guess that was my sophomore year in high school, I believe, and I didn't really do that was my first band, and I didn't know anything.
Yeah,
So like,
me either.
and you were the leader of that. So as far as like the way venues were and performed and the way they worked and stuff like that, all I did was show up, you tell me what to do, and I did it. And so I didn't really pay attention to how things worked.
Right.
It wasn't until I started in WhatDrivesTheWeak, because I'd been in several bands between DOA and WhatDrivesTheWeak, but
Yeah.
they weren't my bands, and I just let whoever was in charge do what they do.
Right.
But whenever I made WhatDrivesTheWeak, I realized that, like, you know, playing back then, you had way more options to play places, way more venues. People were super pumped to go to shows, and it's easier to do things back then, in a sense. You know, now, like, if we talk about our local area exclusively, all those venues are gone. You don't see bands setting up on the corner of the streets anymore, or in parking lots anymore. You don't.
That did happen a lot.
That happened a lot when I was when WhatDrivesTheWeak was thing, 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And you know, it our scene there for a while, especially for metalcore and deathcore, was a really good scene. We had shows all the time with new bands every time, and it was great. And then slowly the local bands started breaking up. So eventually it was just us, and Not One Is Upright left, and then eventually Not One Is Upright broke up, and then we broke up, and then there was nothing. With COVID hitting and stuff, we literally have to rebuild our scene from the ground up. We have one venue to play at, and we really appreciate the venue that's given us the opportunity to help rebuild the scene.
Yep.
But that's what it is at this point, is a rebuilding process. Whenever I was a substitute teacher, or even working in the school system, I have only seen like 1 or 2 kids wearing a metal shirt of some kind, of some form. It's not a thing really anymore. It's that mumble rap bullshit.
I think me and you can remember wearing our band shirts back in school.
Yeah, I wore my Slipknot shirt out, man. John, you mentioned that you guys have been on 3 record labels, but now you're officially independent. Let's talk about those labels, what you liked, what you disliked, and why you're independent.
Well, the first one was 9 Lives.
Yes.
And that was just a distribution.
Yeah.
Gary helped us out quite a bit. He got us he got us places we didn't know how to get ourselves at.
Right.
And then we had asked him if we could get on Ichthus, and it was the first time we had asked him for help with getting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Back then we were Christian bands, and Ichthus was a Christian festival, and he got us on that, and we ended up playing the Sink or Sink stage at Ichthus, and we had met the owner of that stage, who owned Sink or Sink Records, but he wanted to sign us back then, but we were already signed to Gary, so we couldn't do it.
Right.
Then we had broke up, got back together in 2017, and the owner of that label found out that we were getting back together, and so he immediately contacted us, 2 weeks after we got back together.
Yeah.
And wanted to sign us, so we signed him. We were on there for what, year?
Yeah, about a year.
About a year. That was about the time that the band's direction was changing, and we had decided that we weren't going to pursue the Christian label anymore and stuff like that. And
Right.
so we decided that we were going to leave that label.
Yeah.
And a couple of, I can't remember how long.
Now,
it was.
how'd you get out of the contract?
We bought off.
Yeah, we had to pay a little bit of money to get off of our contract. I mean, I don't want to say too much negative about the guy because he just recently passed away.
Right.
But you know, we had some serious disagreements, and we didn't appreciate the way that he approached us about his problems. And yeah, we you know, rest in peace, man.
Right.
It sucks he's gone, but we had to do what we had to do.
I mean, it was difficult because it was a Christian label, and we weren't a Christian band, so
Right.
we were expected to follow Christian rules, and it was like,
Yeah.
we can't do this. This is not.
He really liked our T-shirt design.
He loved it.
That's what got you all the deal.
No, that's what got us off the deal.
You guys, okay. I picked up on the sarcasm now. I'm a little bit slow, folks. All right, the third label.
The third label was fairly recent. Was like what we were on it for a little under a year.
Yeah, right at a year.
Okay.
I mean, within a couple weeks.
Yeah, we got on it, and the guy that ran it, like, I can't really tell the story very well, but he did really good for us for a while, and like, he did everything that he said he was going to do.
Oh man, he lived up to the
Yeah, he
expectations
definitely did
that he
it,
set. Like,
and we really appreciated it. Like, but I'm not the one that should tell the story, so.
really, I mean, the end of that label came to do with the show that the label was throwing. We had helped the label by getting a bunch of local bands on the show, people that are local to our area, because the show was supposed to happen in Olive Hill, and it ultimately did happen in Olive Hill. But he made a group chat, which is usually a bad sign on any sort of festival show. Anytime there's a group chat, people have time to sit around and stew, and it's always bad. So he made a group chat, and he talked to people in a way that a lot of people felt disrespected, and a lot of bands dropped off, and his reaction to that was to speak very unprofessional to a bunch of people in the chat, and then we left too. And when we left, we also were just like, hey man, we're a couple weeks from the end of our contract, we're just going to go ahead and say that we're done on that too, we're not going to re-sign.
A similar situation happened, I think, at X-Fest with Broken Shadows, though, didn't it? Like, somebody got online, started talking shit, and you guys got kicked off the show? If I remember that correctly.
Something like that.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry, that's just a memory I had.
I heard about this.
Yeah, that was an interesting situation. We were supposed to play, I think it was X-Fest 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
We had been approached to be on the show in Broken Shadows. We accepted, of course, because we were stoked to be on it, and a friend of mine had made a message board, like a little online forum, and he had invited a bunch of local musicians and people from the local music scene to come on, and it was a general chat discussion thing.
Yeah.
The discussion of the headliner of X-Fest that year came up. It leaked out online. They were talking about that it was supposed to be Hinder, and basically, my opinion was Hinder was, like, at the time, a new band, and not really my cup of tea. I just didn't feel like they were, compared to some of the previous, festival headliners, Typo Negative and stuff, and Stained, and, like, bigger bands.
Yeah.
My opinion, all I said in the forum was, in my opinion, they're not the level that they should headline X-Fest, but people that like that sort of thing will still be there.
Yeah.
And, well, one of the people that got invited into that little private forum was the marketing director at the radio station that was throwing the festival, and he let us know that he didn't like what I said on the forum, and if we didn't think that his choice for the headliner was sufficient, then maybe we shouldn't be on the show. So I got us booted off of X-Fest 2007 because I was talking shit about Hinder on the internet.
The moral of the story, children, is do not join or start a group chat when you're throwing a concert.
No shit, man.
Facebook page, fine. Group chat, fuck that shit.
The way it should always be is promoters message the band, give them the info, and then leave the band alone until it's time for them to come to your venue.
Yep.
Don't start a group chat.
If you want to shoot the band and ask them if they're selling tickets for you, like how are your ticket sales going, that sort of thing. Like, by all means, do that. But
Right.
putting it in a group chat and calling people out for ticket sales.
There was a band that gave you some shit over something like that, making them sell tickets or something. I seen it on Facebook about a year ago, maybe not even that long. And you got in there. It might have been someone just posted to your Facebook page.
I think that was the same guy we were just talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are officially an independent artist now, correct?
Yes.
Do you plan on staying that way?
For the time being,
I
unless
mean, for now, yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely open to offers, man, but it's not something that we're actively reaching out for. We feel like if somebody that's worth it wants to work with us, that we'll find a way to them. But
No chance that you guys will return to Nine Lives Records. It sounds like they've done you pretty good.
no.
Slam Worldwide and Matt Napier.
okay.
I know nothing about neither, but they're obviously over. You guys are affiliated somehow.
Okay, so Slam Worldwide, we're actually super lucky to work with.
Okay.
They're an online distribution platform for bands that make slam music, deathcore music, basically anything with a lot of gutturals, heavy shit.
Yeah.
We have some mutual friends that had worked with Slam Worldwide. They've got a really big online following. I'm pretty sure they've got like over 200,000.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
I checked out. I think 180,000.
So basically, we were lucky enough to get in contact with the guy that runs Slam Worldwide, and he enjoyed our stuff and offered to help us with it. So we agreed to go that route and give him the exclusive video because he's got a bigger online platform than what we have, and we're trying to extend our reach.
Yep.
So letting him put the video on his channel that 200,000 people are pretty much guaranteed to show up in their feed at some point or another.
Right.
That seemed worth it to us. I mean, we're not getting that many views on it, but we're close to 4,000 now.
Yeah,
so
man. You guys,
close.
what surprised me was the first 24 hours. Me and John didn't know it, but I was sitting there refreshing the page with him and watching the count go up. You guys, I know you went over 2,000.
Yeah, it was like 2,700 after the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Is it hard to stay humble?
No.
It felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
It felt
that's
great,
not.
but
I know that's not like super good numbers.
Dude,
by
it's
any sort of
badass, and
media
you just
standard,
don't know
but-
it. So does Matt Napier work for Slam Worldwide? Is he Slam?
No, Matt is a local video producer.
Okay.
He does everything from weddings to music videos. He's one of those guys that's he's got great equipment. He knows what he's doing. He's a great video editor.
Is he expensive, affordable?
No, he's super. He's one of the cheaper options. I don't want to say he's cheap because I don't want to imply like, oh, he's bottom dollar, because he's not, and his work's better than bottom dollar work.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
So Matt is fair. I think Matt is fair for his pricing. If there's a project that you want or you're going to work on, you know, reach out to Matt. He did a commercial for Kingman's Tattoo Shop just not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does all kinds of stuff like that.
yeah,
So
he did the video for us, and then he did the videos for Revision Revive.
yeah, CODY and the AEON'S Wake video.
He did one for Out of the Oracle, and you know,
He's done a couple for Out of the Oracle, and he's got a
couple,
couple
yeah.
more coming. He's
Hell
going to
yeah.
do more for us in the future.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend Matt. Out of all the video people I've met, Matt
I
is
think
the
all of
easiest
our-
to work with.
all of our videos coming up are Matt.
Yeah.
I think all the playthrough videos, everything we got planned out.
Yeah, we're gonna do some like instrumental playthroughs of the songs, and Matt's gonna work with us on all that stuff too. I mean, we've got a whole big plan with Matt, but anybody that needs work, man, he's the dude to see.
You guys don't have to give a dollar amount, but how much have you invested versus how much you have gotten in return? I bet you're not even close to the line.
I can't even.
I'm asking this question for all the people that are
Yeah.
not into music,
Oh my
just
God.
fans, so they know
Gosh,
how much work actually goes into this shit. I'm still paying off debts from DOA. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not shitting.
John, you can
That
answer
number
that.
scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
Could you buy a new house with it?
definitely
Yeah.
easy.
yeah,
And how much have you gotten in return?
Not anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Have you gotten anything in return?
Okay, so recently, like, merchandise has been a good thing for us.
Yeah.
We've really been
Yeah.
doing well with merchandise. As for getting paid on shows, sometimes we do, sometimes
You just got to do show. That's your main.
man, like, this isn't something that you can do if you just want to, like we were talking about at the beginning, like hobbies, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if this for us, it is a hobby in that it's something we do on the weekends and we continue to work on, but we also want to make it a career. So
Right.
we're lucky enough that in this band we've got people that are both willing to invest the time and money and able to invest the time and
Yeah.
money, because
So you guys are ultra fucking serious.
yeah,
You
man.
guys
Oh,
do
yeah.
not joke at all.
Well, I mean,
I mean, you joke here with me, but when it comes to music, I could just imagine it. I'm not trying to compare you to Nazi Germany, but I can imagine you
we're
guys.
nothing like
we're-
Nazi
we're
Germany.
nothing like that.
I know you
not
guys
at
keep
all.
each other in line, though.
Oh man,
Like,
we
you're
hold
not
each
a-
other accountable.
Like if Brandon's slacking one day, I could just see one of you smacking him in the back of the head and say, either go home or straighten the fuck
Oh
out.
yeah.
that's happened.
Yeah.
Oh man, and you know, like
Nobody smacked me.
when it's really apparent is when you're in the studio, because
Yeah.
you're under a microscope, and not only like the rest of your band is sitting there listening to everything you're doing, but you've got our producer, which, you know, we're fortunate enough to work with Chris Whitehead. He's the
Awesome
drummer from
guy.
Body Snatcher, and Body Snatcher's a huge deathcore band, and you know, we all look up to Chris as a musician.
He's pretty much family to us. I mean, for real.
It's kind of nerve-wracking when you're trying to play. Like when I was doing drums on the EP, you know, I respect Chris as a drummer, and having him sitting on the other end of my performance, just listening to everything that I'm doing, just, you know, it's pressure, man. It's
Right.
hard, but yeah, we definitely we take it seriously. We have a lot of fun with each other, but we hold each other accountable for stuff. If Brandon sucks, I let him know.
Yeah, I mean, if we're on stage, when we're on stage or if we're at a show, like, we try to be as nice as humanly possible when we're talking to people, like outside
Right.
in the crowd and stuff
Right.
like that. And then when we're on stage, it's business.
Yeah.
But if you come outside and you catch us standing in the back alley, we're making fun of each other so hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's brutal. You're walking into a roast fest.
Yeah, it's a
Someone's
brotherhood.
getting roasted all the time.
We roast each other. Real friends roast each other.
Yeah.
So you guys are so serious that you've practically erased this record from existence.
We did.
So the question is, why do you hate your very first record, which I like, and what did it take to scrub it from the internet? Because I had a song, one song. I wanted to keep the rest of the record up there. I had one song. He's on it. That's just a hint. That I didn't really realize that people were going to like that more than anything I ever done.
Balls.
And I tried my best to wipe it. I actually called Gary. I was like, "Can we please take this goddamn thing down?" He's like, "Dude, that's going to cost a lot of money. You just keep it up. I'll take it off the physical copy there." I'm like, "That it's not gonna." And then I go to Brandon's radio station, and he's like, "I heard Balls by Evil Me," and I'm just like, "Thanks, Brandon. Thanks."
I had to do it. You know?
The only reason I didn't like Balls, the only reason, was because you asked me to come in and do that guest track.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done vocals in like 3 years.
Right.
And like, it was the first time I come in and I just cracked, and it sounded so bad. And I hated it. And so every time I heard me cracking, so I never showed anybody. But then it became a cult classic.
Yeah.
Like, within my friend group. It was like, so we'd be playing Xbox Live, and like, our guitar player Jordan, and then like our other buddy Mailer would just start saying, "I got balls in my second, my balls," and I'm like, "Would you shut the fuck up?"
I've learned to embrace it.
Balls. Really big balls.
Okay, so let's get back to this record. I like this record, and I think you guys should have kept it around, in my opinion. You guys are the artists, because it shows where you all started. I know this doesn't represent what you are now, but why did you ultimately erase this record?
Here's the reason.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out how to get access to our Spotify.
Right.
We didn't know that you could type in Spotify for artists on Google and then just claim your account and it'd be yours. We didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So we contacted Gary, and we were like, "Gary, I know you used Orchard distribution or whatever.
Yeah.
I need you to take Iniquities off of absolutely everything on the internet. Wipe it off the face of the internet, because we need to be able to make a new account in these places so we can get our stuff. And I want to have people to type in WhatDrivesTheWeak on this site, and then give a drop down to us and then our old stuff, because we don't have access to this." We didn't know anything about how to access our accounts, so we got Iniquities deleted off, and then
It's also worth noting, Gary didn't tell us, "Oh, well, you guys don't have to do that. I can do," you know. He may have known and not told us, but regardless, yeah, we were just trying to make sure that we didn't have confusion with Spotify.
Right.
And that was the only way that we could think of to do it, because Gary basically told us there wasn't much he could do. I mean, it was either leave it up or take it down.
Did he give you any shit about taking it down?
he told me, "Wow, I've never had an artist ever ask for their stuff to be taken off."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I am. Take it down, please." I was really blunt. I was like, "Look,
And like,
this is our stuff. It's my music.
as
We still own it. Take it off the internet." And he did. And I was like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it." And then like 3 weeks later, we're like, "Oh, we didn't have to do that."
yeah, magically one day I figured out Spotify, and I was like, "Oh, guess what, guys? We didn't have to do this shit."
Yeah, you guys should put it back up and leave it there.
Even though
This is where you guys began.
you know, even though that
Why
I
do you hate it, dude?
I don't hate it. I actually,
I think it's a garbage record.
I think
I
that,
like some of the songs.
It's better than the Evil Me record as far as sound quality.
I think some of the songs on there are pretty good. I think some of the stuff too is I wasn't on that record on Iniquities.
Right.
Brandon wasn't either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Brandon
all I was
wasn't
going to
either.
say.
But it was basically John and Jordan were
Yeah.
the only two that were in the band at the time.
But
So
they're still in the band.
Was
Yeah,
Jeremy
they're
on
still in
that
the
album?
Jeremy, Derek, Josh.
Jeremy's a
and-
cool guy.
I don't know, like I don't feel like the band is represented as it is now. There's a couple songs on there like Betrayer and Destroyer,
Codex.
Codex. We've talked several times
like
about
Codex.
trying to like redo Codex and make it a not 7-minute song where it's the same breakdown for 5 minutes of it. But
Fuck it, man. A 7-minute song is. Look at Meatloaf, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of his songs is. If the record label didn't cut his songs down, Every one of his songs about 30 to 45 minutes long.
Rock operas,
Full-blown
baby.
opera shit, dude. So that leads me into my second question. You guys are doing 2 records in 1 year. What brought that on, and where did you get the financial backing now that you're independent?
COVID, man. COVID's what happened.
Yeah.
We released Lightbringer on March 13th, 2020. And the following Monday, that March 13th was a Friday. And that following Monday, the country was shut down from COVID. And all of our plans, we had several shows planned out. We had, the beginnings of a tour lined out. We were doing a lot of things at the time,
Yeah.
and all of it went into the trash, and it was very disheartening.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do for a while.
Because I know just as soon as you guys put out Lightbringer and I was getting into it, you guys were making Facebook posts about your new music being the biggest, baddest, or the heaviest, most brutal you come up with. And I'm like, you just kicked out a fucking record a month ago, bro.
We actually had a show that we was going to play with now, and anybody who knows, I'm a big death metal fan, and that was one band that I was actually looking forward to playing with.
That was the one show that I was so bummed about.
But yeah, man, that's what happened. We released Lightbringer, and then COVID shut down the country. And after we took a couple weeks to kind of get over being mad about it, we sat down and said, well, what do we do with our time? I mean, we just got Jerrod in our band, so he had come in and started to learn the stuff off Lightbringer. So all the guitar on Lightbringer is Jordan. He did all of that by himself. So props to him. But I don't know, we just all clicked with Jerrod, and we just started fucking around one day and writing songs, and it turned into the idea of, you know what, like, let's just go ahead and do some more material, and that gives us more stuff to do, because when we can go back out, we've got 2 whole albums worth of stuff that's going to be new to a lot of people, and that's as for financial backing, man, it just comes down to that
Saving
day we
money.
had the conversation about let's do a new album. I reached out to Chris, and we worked out what we paid for him and made a budget. We need X amount of dollars for a van. We need X amount of dollars for food and for other shit when we're down there. And we're going to split it, X amount of ways. And this is how much we need. We would all pay into the band fund.
I've tried the band fund thing and it never works out.
I'll just say this, thank God.
And I'm glad it works out for you guys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's never worked out in any other band I've ever been in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the only band, and that's what's different about What Drives the Weak to me from the bands that I've been in before. Is like, I trust everybody in this band to if they say they're going to put $50 in on Friday, it's going to be there on Friday.
One thing that helps with this band is we all help each other. It's not, one person that does everything. We all pitch in, we all put in our part, and I mean, and it really helps. And if a person can't do it, then we try to help them as much as they can. I mean,
We don't make stuff. We don't pocket our merch money and then go out and buy pizza or whatnot. Like what we make on merch goes back into merch. We'll pay out of pocket for merch, and then the money we make from merch, all the money we make in shows, everything, nothing goes in our pockets. It gets dumped back into the band fund.
Yeah.
So we always have money in the band fund, even
We've
if
got
it's a
pretty
little
good
bit or a
chunk of change
lot.
in the
But right
band
now
fund
we've got a pretty good dollar amount in there.
One last question, you guys. I told you guys I had 20 questions, and I wasn't fucking shitting. But this is the last one, I swear. Any advice to any artist that may be watching this? Speak freely. Any advice whatsoever?
Man, my advice is if this is what you want, don't get discouraged and quit. Find reasons to keep pushing yourself through stuff, because you can't. If you want to be successful as a musician, or just, I mean, honestly, really, as anything, it doesn't matter if you want to, fucking run the Olympics. Like, don't let your success depend on other people's involvement. Find ways to keep pushing through, and just roll with the punches, man, because it's not. I mean, Jeremy, too, it's not super easy when you've got everybody's life outside of the band conflicting. People have kids, people have sick family members they have to take care of. I mean, things happen, and life makes it hard for people to be in bands sometimes. But I mean, like Jon's talking about going through 25 people in this band, that's really what it takes, is having people devoted enough to it to kind of let those people come in and out, man. If you feel a genuine connection with the people you play music with, you would know. There's no other way to say it other than And yeah, man, you just gotta you just got to try to keep pushing forward and play with people that you genuinely connect with and trust, and stay at it.
And that's what I was going to say. If I had any advice to a newer band, like a band that's just formed and been together for 6 months, you got a band member that is just not working for you. Don't be afraid to kick him. Don't be afraid to hurt the fucking feelings. If you're in this for the gold, meaning you're in this for the long haul, you're dead serious about this, you got to rotate members until you find the right ones.
I don't view it as a bragging right.
Right.
I view it as just a fact, and like, you know, I love all those guys. I like all those guys that I used to play with. But as far as this current lineup that we have, this is what drives the week. This is tight as fuck right here where you guys got it. You guys are all working together. This is the most badass I ever have heard you ever. And you've really grown as a musician. I'm not trying to take credit, but I'd like to think that a lot of your success today is by watching all my mistakes then. I wouldn't have learned how to. I mean, I would have learned eventually, but like it would have taken more time. But
Right.
you know, you learn a lot in your very first band that you ever played in, and your band just happened to be my very first band I ever played in.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I do credit you for giving me that experience that I.
And man, I'll be the first to admit I was a complete asshole to this guy right here.
Yeah, you were ridiculous.
I was. I just didn't know. I had no social skills back then, but I somehow I dodged getting in fist fights and learned a few manners since then. But
it's okay, I forgive you.
Guys, with all that being said, What Drives the Weak, all the info to everything that I can find anyway will be down in the description. So with that being said, goodbye. All right. Now that's about awkward as ending as any.